Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Let's learn with Lizzie. Today we are going to focus on a very detailed explanation of the interview from class 12 English Flamingo textbook. In this video, we will study part 2 of the chapter, which presents a fascinating interview with the famous Italian writer and scholar Umberto Eco. In part one, we discussed the interview as a journalistic genre and saw how different writers had mixed opinions about interviews. Now, in part two, we move from theory to practice. We will look at a real interview where the journalist Mukund Padmanabham talks with Umberto Eco about his life, his writing style, his productivity, and the surprising success of his famous novel. Through this interview, we get a deeper understanding of Eco's personality, intellectual interest, and philosophy of writing. Part 2 of the chapter contains an interview conducted by Mukund Padmanabhan, a journalist from the Hindu newspaper. The interviewee is Umberto Eco, one of the most respected intellectuals of the 20th century. The main purpose of this interview is to explore Eco's approach to writing, his intellectual interests, how he manages his time, and how he became both a famous scholar and a best-selling novelist. Through this conversation, we see how interviews can reveal the thought processes and personality of great thinkers. Let us first understand who Umberto Eco was. Eco was an Italian intellectual who made significant contribution in several fields. He was known as a novelist, a philosopher, a literary critic, and a scholar of semiotics. Semiotics is the study of signs and symbols and how meaning is created through them. Eco also served as a professor at the University of Bologna in Italy, which is one of the oldest universities in the world. Although he later became famous as a novelist, he spent most of his career as an academic scholar. Before writing fiction, Eco had already earned an international reputation as a scholar and intellectual thinker. His academic research focused on areas such as semiotics, literary theory, medieval aesthetics, and philosophy. Eco was an extremely versatile writer. He wrote scholarly books, essays, novels, children's literature, and newspaper articles. This wide range of writing demonstrates his intellectual curiosity and creativity. The interview begins with Mukund Padmanabham quoting a comment made by the English novelist David Lodge. David Lodge once said that he could not understand how one man could do so many different things. This statement refers to Eco's incredible productivity. The interviewer therefore asks Eco how he manages to write so many books, essays, and articles while also teaching at a university. In other words, he wants to discover the secret behind Eco's productivity. Echo gives a very interesting response. He says that although people believe he is doing many different things, he personally feels that he is always doing the same thing. What does he mean by this? Eco explains that all his work is connected to the same intellectual and philosophical interests. Whether he is writing academic research, novels, or even children's books, he is exploring similar ideas and values. Therefore, even though his work appears diverse, it is actually unified by a common intellectual purpose. Eco further explains that his writing is guided by ethical and philosophical concerns. These concerns appear in all his works. For example, even his children's book promote ideas such as peace, non-violence, and human understanding. This shows that Eco's writing is not simply about entertainment. Instead, it reflects deep moral and philosophical thinking. The interviewer then asks Echo how he manages to produce such a large amount of work. Echo reveals what he calls his secret. He explains that our lives contain many small empty spaces, which he calls interstices. Interstices are small gaps that occur between our daily activities. For example, waiting for someone, traveling in a lift, or sitting in a waiting area. Most people waste these moments, but Echo uses them productively. Echo gives a humorous example to illustrate this idea. He says that while waiting for the elevator to travel from the first floor to the third floor, he might already have written an article. Of course, this statement is partially humorous, but it highlights an important lesson. Echo uses every small moment of time creatively. This shows his discipline, focus, and effective time management. The interviewer now discusses Echo's writing style. Mukund observes that Echo's academic writing is very different from typical scholarly writing. Usually, academic writing is formal, impersonal, and often difficult to read. But Echo's writing is known for being lively, playful, and personal. The interviewer therefore asks whether Echo deliberately adopted this style or whether it developed naturally. Echo explains that his writing style developed when he was writing his doctoral dissertation. Most scholars present research in a rigid format. They present hypotheses, correct errors, and finally present conclusions. But Echo did something different. Instead of presenting only conclusions, he described the entire process of his research, including his mistakes and experiments. In other words, he told the story of his research journey. Echo's professor appreciated this unusual approach. He recognized that Echo's method made the research more engaging and easier to understand. Eventually, the dissertation was even published as a book. From this experience, Echo realized that scholarly writing should not simply present conclusions. Instead, it should also explain the process of thinking and discovery. That is why his essays often contain narrative elements. Because Echo's academic writing already had a narrative quality, it eventually led him towards fictional writing. However, Echo began writing novels relatively late in his life. He started writing fiction at around the age of 50. This is quite unusual because many writers begin writing novels much earlier. For Echo, storytelling developed gradually from his academic interests only. Echo also mentions his friend Roland Barthes, a famous French philosopher and literary critic. Barthes spent most of his life writing essays and academic works. However, he always wanted to write a novel. Unfortunately, he died before he could fulfill this dream. Echo contrasts this situation with his own experience. Unlike Barthes, he eventually succeeded in writing novels. Interestingly, Echo says that he began writing novels almost by accident. One day he simply had nothing else to do, so he began writing a story. The story eventually became his famous novel, The Name of the Rose. This explanation reflects Echo's humorous and modest personality. The Name of the Rose became an enormous success. It sold more than 10 million copies worldwide. The novel is unique because it combines several different elements. It is a detective story, a historical novel, and a philosophical exploration. Because of its intellectual complexity, many people believed it would not attract a large audience, but surprisingly, the book became extremely popular. The interviewer then asks Echo whether he feels bothered that most people now know him primarily as a novelist. Echo gives a very interesting answer. He says that he considers himself a university professor who writes novels on Sundays. This statement reflects a strong identification with the academic world. Echo explains that he feels more comfortable participating in academic conferences rather than gatherings of writers. He prefers discussing ideas with scholars and researchers. Therefore, even though he became a best selling novelist, he still sees himself primarily as an academic intellectual. However, Echo also admits that writing novels allow him to reach a much larger audience. Academic books on semiotics may be read by only a few thousand scholars, but novels can reach millions of readers across the world. Therefore, fiction becomes a powerful medium through which complex ideas can reach the general public. Mukund then asks Echo why the name of the rose became such a huge success. Echo replies that its success is actually a mystery. Even publishers and journalists were surprised by its popularity. They believed that readers would not be interested in a novel about medieval history and philosophy, but they all turned out to be wrong. The book became extremely popular, and it's such a mystery for them. Echo believes that people do not always want simple or easy reading. Many readers enjoy intellectual challenges. He gives a statistical example. Even though the novel sold around 10 to 15 million copies, this still represents only a small percentage of the world's population. However, these readers appreciate serious literature. Echo concludes that the success of a book is often unpredictable. Even experienced publishers cannot always predict which books will become popular. Echo says that if the novel had been written 10 years earlier or 10 years later, its success might have been different. Therefore, literary success often depends on timing and circumstances. Several important themes emerge from this interview. One theme is intellectual curiosity. Echo's writing is driven by a deep desire to explore ideas. Another theme is time management. Echo uses small moments of time very efficiently. The interview also explores the relationship between academic scholarship and creative writing. And finally, it highlights the unpredictable nature of literary success. Through this interview, we also learn about Echo's personality. He appears to be intellectual, disciplined, curious, humorous, and modest. Despite his global fame, he remains deeply connected to the academic world. The interview teaches us several valuable lessons. Creativity often comes from intellectual curiosity. Success requires discipline and effective use of time. Academic research and creative writing can support each other. And finally, the success of literature often remains a mystery. For your board exams, remember these important facts. Umberto Eco was a famous professor at University of Bologna. His famous novel, The Name of the Rose, became an international bestseller. Eco describes the empty space of time as interstices, and he famously described himself as a professor who writes novels on Sundays. You may encounter questions such as: how does Umberto Eco find time to write so much? What was distinctive about Eco's academic writing style? Why does Eco consider himself a professor rather than a novelist? Discuss Umberto Eco's views on writing, time management, and literary success as revealed in the interview. Preparing these answers carefully will help you perform well in your exams. To conclude, part 2 of the interview provides fascinating insights into the life and thinking of Umberto Eco. Through this conversation, we see how a great intellectual balances scholarship, creativity, and discipline. The interview also demonstrates the power of conversations in revealing the ideas and personalities of great thinkers. Understanding such interviews help us appreciate both literature and the art of intellectual discussion. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching the video till the end. If you felt like this video was helpful, kindly please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And see you soon in the upcoming video.